Tour de France 2025. Pogačar dominates stage 13 time trial, extends lead. In the thrilling world of professional cycling, few moments capture the imagination quite like a dominant performance in the Tour de France. Tadej Pogačar, the Slovenian sensation, has once again proven why he's considered one of the sport's brightest stars, delivering a masterclass on stage 13 to extend his lead in the 2025 edition. This wasn't just any stage. It was a grueling mountain time trial that tested the limits of even the most seasoned riders. And Pogačar didn't just win, he crushed it. But here's where it gets controversial. Should we now consider him untouchable? Or is there still room for a dramatic upset before the race concludes? Pogačar's victory in this pivotal stage was nothing short of spectacular, covering the challenging 10.9-kilometer route from Lidonvielle to the Paradis airfield in the Pyrenees. He clocked an exact time of 23 minutes. To put that into perspective, this course featured an average gradient of 7.8% over the final climb, with the last 300 meters ramping up to a punishing 16%. Yet, Pogačar powered through as if gravity itself had taken a backseat. His closest rival, Jonas Vingegaard of Denmark, finished 36 seconds behind, a gap that might seem small but speaks volumes in professional cycling. With this win, Pogačar stretched his overall lead to an imposing 4 minutes and 7 seconds. But let's not forget about Remco Evenepoel, the reigning world and Olympic time trial champion, who started the day in third place in the general classification, GC. Evenepoel's journey on stage 13 was far from smooth. A minor mechanical issue disrupted his rhythm, and by the time he reached the steep final ascent, Vingegaard had already overtaken him. Despite finishing 2 minutes and 39 seconds slower than Pogačar, Evenepoel managed to cling to third in the GC standings, though he's now trailing the leader by more than 7 minutes. The Belgian rider's struggles raise an intriguing question. Can equipment choices and adaptability make or break a cyclist's chances in such demanding stages? Meanwhile, Primož Roglič showcased his resilience by securing third place on the day, while young British talent Oscar Onley made waves by gaining 29 seconds on Kevin Vauquelin to leapfrog the Frenchman and claim fifth in the overall standings. These shifts highlight how every second counts in a race as unforgiving as the Tour de France. For Pogačar, this stage win marks his fourth triumph in this year's edition and extends his total career stage victories to an impressive 21. He now sits sixth on the all-time list, a remarkable achievement considering Sir Mark Cavendish set the record of 35 wins only last year. With 8 stages still left to contest, could Pogačar inch closer to rewriting history? "I'm super happy," Pogačar said after the race. "This time trial was something I've been thinking about since December. I wanted everything to be perfect." His strategy clearly paid off. Setting off at 2-minute intervals, Pogačar gave it his all from start to finish, pushing himself to the brink of exhaustion. "I almost blew up at the end," he admitted. "But seeing the timer at the top gave me that extra push because I knew I was going to win." Early on the day, Australian time trial champion Luke Plapp set a strong early benchmark, holding the fastest time for much of the stage. However, none of the other competitors, including Vingegaard and Evenepoel, who experimented with adapted time trial bikes, could match Pogačar's relentless pace. Interestingly, Pogačar opted for a traditional road bike, proving that sometimes simplicity trumps innovation. Vingegaard, recovering from what he described as one of his worst performances the previous day, managed to catch Evenepoel just 50 meters from the finish line, showcasing his determination to stay competitive. As the peloton braces for another daunting mountain stage on Saturday, a 182.6-kilometer trek from Palm to the summit finish at Luchon-sur-Bagnéres, the burning question remains: can anyone stop Pogačar's march toward victory? Or will his dominance overshadow the rest of the field entirely? What do you think? Is Pogačar truly unbeatable? Or are we underestimating the potential for a late race twist? Share your thoughts below. Pogačar UAE dominance. Is it good for the sport? Cycling analysis. In an era where Tadej Pogačar and his UAE team Emirates dominate the Tour de France, one question looms large. Is this dominance beneficial for the sport of cycling? As Pogačar, at just 26, leads the race by over 4 minutes, it's hard to ignore the shift in power within professional cycling. Pogačar's achievements at such a young age stand out, By contrast, legendary riders like Lance Armstrong, Eddie Merckx, and Bernard Hinault had fewer victories under their belts at the same age. His UAE team's success in nearly a third of the stages highlights the financial muscle behind their dominance, leaving other teams, especially those with smaller budgets, struggling to keep up. Jonas Vingegaard's Visma Lease bike team, which swept all 3 Grand Tours in 2023, has found itself unable to replicate that success this year. Despite having strong riders like Wout van Aert, they failed to secure crucial stage wins. Visma is expected to finish with an overall podium position and multiple stage victories. But the rest of the peloton, particularly mid to lower budget teams, faces a tough battle. With only 6 stages left, including key mountain stages, many teams might not secure a single stage win by the end of the tour. While some argue that Pogacar's dominance is a testament to exceptional talent, others see it as a sign of the sport's financial imbalance. Similar scenarios have played out in other sports. Tennis, for instance, has seen eras dominated by players like Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. And golf has had periods of intense dominance by a select few. Fans often celebrate these moments as examples of sporting greatness, enjoying the rare instances when underdogs shine. However, pro cycling is fundamentally a team sport. The current landscape squeezes teams without generational talents, leading some to consider drastic measures. The reports suggest that Lotto and Intermarché Wanty are exploring a merger before the 2026 season, and even traditionally well-funded teams like Ineos are feeling pressure to remain relevant. The costs of competing in the World Tour are staggering, with teams needing budgets exceeding 30 million euros to stay competitive. This is a far cry from 2010, when Team Sky's budget of 17 million euros was considered the largest in the sport. The high salaries demanded by top riders, especially those rumored to earn nearly $10 million per season like Pogacar, put immense financial strain on teams. Deals like the one between Soudal Quickstep and Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, which includes buying out Remco Evenepoel in 2026, underscore the tightening market for top-tier racers. Teams without access to such talent face increasing difficulties. Another concerning trend is the decline in Tour de France viewership. Early figures show a drop in viewers across most markets, including core cycling countries like France, Italy, the Netherlands, and Belgium, with Spain experiencing a nearly 30% decrease. This decline is worrying, especially given that endemic sponsors rely on strong viewership to justify their investments. The challenges faced by pro cycling mirror those in other sports, such as track athletics. Despite the pandemic boosting running participation, track and field has struggled to maintain viewership and profitability outside of major events like the Olympics. Series like Grand Slam Track, Dual Track, and Athlos and the faced financial instability, highlighting the sport's dependency on sponsorships and limited engagement. The passing of Samuel Abt, a pioneering cycling journalist, marks the end of an era. As one of the first to bring cycling to the mainstream American audience, Abt's work chronicling the successes of American cyclists like Greg LeMond and Lance Armstrong remains influential. His insights and attention to detail are increasingly rare in modern cycling journalism. In conclusion, while Pogacar's dominance represents a pinnacle of individual achievement, it also raises questions about the future of professional cycling. As the sport grapples with financial pressures and declining viewership, finding a balance that sustains both individual brilliance and team competitiveness will be crucial. What do you think? Is the current state of dominance beneficial for cycling, or does it signal deeper issues? Tadej Pogacar, I'm tired of the Tour de France. Cycling Insider speaks out. Imagine being one of the world's top cyclists, yet feeling utterly drained by the most prestigious event in your sport. That's exactly what's happening to Tadej Pogacar, who recently confessed, "I can't wait for it to be over." But what could be behind this shocking admission from a rider who has dominated the Tour de France in recent years? To delve deeper into this story, let's turn to James, a seasoned cycling journalist with a wealth of experience covering the sport. James began his career in local and national newspapers before joining Cycling Weekly as a sub-editor in 2000. At that time, the office was literally surrounded by fields, a far cry from the bustling newsroom it is today. Over the years, James has worked his way up the ranks, becoming chief sub-editor and eventually switching to a full-time writing role in 2016. He's covered a wide range of events, from the classics to the Giro d'Italia, and this year will mark his 7th Tour de France. As a lifelong cyclist and cycling fan, James has a deep understanding of the sport and its intricacies. Although his racing days are behind him, he still rides regularly, both on the road and on gravel trails. But even with his extensive knowledge, James is likely to be surprised by Pogacar's candid admission. So what could be driving Pogacar's fatigue with the Tour de France? Is it the grueling physical demands of the event, or the mental pressure of competing at the highest level? Perhaps it's the constant media scrutiny, or the weight of expectation from fans and sponsors. Whatever the reason, Pogacar's statement is sure to spark controversy among cycling enthusiasts. Some may argue that he's being ungrateful or lacking in dedication, while others may sympathize with his honesty. But here's where it gets really interesting. What if Pogacar's admission is not just a personal sentiment, but a symptom of a broader issue within the sport? As the cycling world continues to evolve, it's essential to consider the well-being and satisfaction of its top athletes. Are they being pushed too hard, too fast? Are they being given the support and resources they need?